So stumbled upon this word, sonder. It's the realization that everyone we meet, every fleeting stranger, is navigating a life as vivid and complex as our own. It's the realization that everyone has a story. I often think about how small and insignificant we are compared to the universe, especially when traveling. The funny thing about seeing the world through a new lens is that we realize how minimal our existence truly is. You get a glimpse of the tiny place you occupy in this world, and I think there's beauty behind that. Yes, traveling broadens our perspective, teaches us about other cultures, and tests out new experiences, but most importantly, traveling reminds us of our insignificance, that we are only one human out of 8 billion others. It's a very humbling and liberating thought, but in a way that takes the weight off my shoulders a bit. During my 3 weeks of travel, I quickly realized that with gratitude, nothing becomes everything. Finding joy in the most simple things and becoming inspired by the magnitude of the world around us, that was enough. So welcome to the first episode of my travel entries, where we start off feeling small yet highly inspired, visiting the vibrant city of Barcelona. Well rested, we eventually woke up from our slumber, ready to explore.
Egg vibes. Let's go.
Barcelona being the first stop in our Europe trip, we really wanted to indulge in the excitement of being in a new city. I think traveling always prompts me to stay open-minded and curious about the places I'm visiting, whether it's about the famous landmarks or food, the culture. In a way, curiosity motivates the way I explore a new destination. We stopped by La Guell, Argentina, grabbing empanadas for the road ahead. My mom and aunt had one mission and one mission only, and it was to try every empanada they could get their hands on. Then we made our way to La Papa for a quick matcha break. This place had such beautiful interior, all painted in soft beige with tone-on-tone furniture. We sat at the back by the little market, and it felt very reminiscent of a cave. I got a pistachio latte, which was too pretty to drink in my opinion, and very yummy. I'm a pistachio girly for life, as you will learn throughout this entire trip. Oh my god, it's crazy. How is that rain? This is one of those moments where I felt incredibly small. Gaudi himself said, "Nothing is art if it does not come from nature." Hence why there are no straight lines or sharp corners. Everything is built imitating the architecture of nature. I couldn't get my eyes off the ceiling. It was heavily ornamented, but somehow falling together perfectly into one incredible piece of art. This is crazy. Moments like this that are so overpowering, nothing else matters, where our whole bodies are taken over by an experience. And I think it's different for everyone. Some of us can get lost in music, some fall for intense adventure, while others are deeply moved by art. All in all, you feel insignificant in such a wonderful way. There's no greater feeling than walking around with no specific destination in mind and taking everything in. So we did more walking, more exploring. We passed by a couple stores before heading to dinner. El Nacional is a restaurant made up of different spaces inside, so think Italy.
That's so good.
You have everything at your disposal with 4 restaurants, bars, gelato stands, you name it. We couldn't decide on which restaurant to choose, so we asked one of the workers at the front desk and he recommended La Taperia. Also, when I say insignificant, I'm not saying we shouldn't allow ourselves to feel big every now and then. It's nice to recognize the significance of who we are and what we do. And if your ambition is to impact the world, then by all means, keep going, you got this, I believe in you. However, I think this realization of feeling small and insignificant should come as nothing but humbling. We're all just people trying to get through life the best we can. And in the scheme of this incredible, vast, beautiful, extraordinary world we live in, we're just tiny and we always will be. And how exciting is that? I personally think the best mode of transportation when traveling is walking. We ended up walking for about an hour this morning. I think it's more than a way of getting somewhere for me. You look at your surroundings from a different perspective. You pass by locals and see their way of life, eavesdrop of conversations here and there, and plus, you get those steps in. We ended up at Culinary Brunch and Bistro near Barcelona Beach. I have this habit of saying this is the best ... a lot when it comes to visiting new food places, but let me tell you, this was the best brunch I've ever had so far in my life. Despite the coffee I got, which I probably ordered wrong, attempting to order coffee in Europe is a sensitive topic for me, but everything else was scrumptious. All 10s across the board. I got this avocado toast, which was practically a piece of art. It was astonishing, to say the least. After brunch, we headed towards Barcelona Beach, slowly passing Port Vell. This day was a bank holiday in Spain, so everyone was out and about, playing volleyball, biking, eating ice cream. We put our towels down and buried our feet in the sand. I think when we make ourselves the center of our own universe, everything in our life seems big and overwhelming. In my side of the world, we grow up believing that bigger means better. We desire for a sense of importance, and we tend to connect that feeling to big things. The big house, the big car, big following, big money. Many of us carry a small voice inside our heads telling us how to behave and what it takes to fit into society's idea of success. And like I said before, there's nothing wrong with wanting all those things. If anything, that's the norm. I think what I'm saying is feeling special has become a need rather than a desire. Success is not an all-encompassing definition that everyone must abide by. Not everyone believes that ticking those boxes defines success.
It's giving Hagrid.
I look like Hagrid, but it's fine. So we're back at the Airbnb after Barcelona at the beach, and we're gonna take a nap because we're still kind of jet lagged. Toronto is 5 hours behind. It's currently 6 a.m. there. Today's been really fun. We had an early start to the morning because obviously the bank holiday, and this wasn't the part of the original plan, but that's what traveling's about. Like, we're here to travel with purpose. You don't have to stick to an itinerary from hour to hour, and yeah, today's been really fun and spontaneous, and I love it.
I've been learning a language. Every day I get a little more fluent. I've been turning the pages. Every day I know more about you, learning all of your favorites. And now you sleep like a
This is better than this morning.
Now you sleep like a corpse. I make fun of you for that.
It's the way I thought she was a
Trying to keep
pickpocket.
my balance,
I literally started running.
but you're pushing me over. Tell myself it's not romance, but every day it feels closer. Learning all of your phrases and how you sound when you're tired. The things that make you happy, the things that make you cry.
After visiting Citadella Park, we headed back to the Port Vell area for the sunset, and of course had to come back for the best orange juice ever. I still think about it till this day. It was so fresh, just the right amount of sweetness. We decided to have dinner at Bivio. We all agreed that this was our favorite meal in Barcelona. Lovely interior, the food was even better. We ordered steak, paella, mixed vegetables. Very much appreciated the grill supplied in the center of the table. It was a full-on experience.
Oh, I love it. Can you give me some?
And from there, it just got better. When we asked for the dessert menu, the waiter came back with 6 different desserts for us to choose from. We could only choose 3, so we chose tiramisu, mascarpone, and of course, I chose carrot cake, my favorite ever. Probably the best carrot cake I've ever had, and I stand by that statement.
Oh my god.
After walking around the port, it took us nearly an hour just to find a taxi, understandably so. And when we finally found one,
I've actually never been more happy. Muchas gracias.
we were enthralled, to say the least. Day 3 started off by visiting Park Guell. We arrived a little early to the scene, so we strolled along the winding streets to pass the time. This park felt like a mini fairy tale city all on its own, with the spiral towers, the enchanting lizard stairway. I felt like a cheetah girl. The whimsical and vibrant mosaics are the unmistakable signature of none other than, you guessed it, Antoni Gaudí. There's so much ground to cover, each building within the park carrying its own intricate details, reflecting Gaudí's personal touch. I think being in Barcelona, you'll start to recognize Gaudí's style everywhere. The sidewalk, the benches, the wrought iron, he was ahead of his time. After grabbing pastries for breakfast, we headed towards Mercado de la Boquera. From Technicolor fruit smoothies to stalls of cured meat and other delicacies, this market holds more than 200 stands. Now this is what foodie heaven looks like. Our taxi driver recommended Kiosk Universal for brunch. It's in the middle of the Boquera. It's busy and hectic, but once you sit down, you forget all about that.
So we're filming right now. They told us not to look at the camera. I'm not good at this.
We tried to play it cool the entire time, and the manager said he liked our energy towards the food and how we emphasized our reactions. Food is quite literally our love language. This was our moment to shine. We walked around the Rambla, did a bit of shopping, popping in and out of stores. The streets were buzzing. There's a reason why they call it the busiest street in Barcelona. Back to what I was saying. We are the narrator of our own story, and we grant ourselves the greatest freedom of all when we understand that we ultimately decide the meaning of everything that happens to us. Because our stories mean something to us, to our loved ones. Our stories are proof that we existed, that we learned, loved, laughed, cried. We explored the world around us. They help us create meaning in this fundamentally chaotic world.
Let's go.
So maybe everything does matter. Despite feeling insignificantly small, maybe our relentless pursuit of these stories is the only thing that truly matters to us. In the grand scheme of life, it might seem like nothing, but to us, it's the very essence of everything. It sounds paradoxical to say everything is simultaneously meaningless and meaningful, but it's reality. In the end, nothing matters except everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Sevilla, Spain.